Welcome! I'm glad that you've joined me today. Every experience begins with a thought, and our experience changes when we change the thought. In this series, we will focus on the thoughts and emotions relating to special meridian points located along the sides of the spine, corresponding to the vertebrae. They are called the Huatuojiaji points. Each point connects to specific areas of your body and nervous system. We will be working on opening the Huatuojiaji points along the spine to increase qi flow and activation of the nervous system, so your body has access to the life force and information it needs to heal itself. I will help you do this through Qigong healing and the use of forgiveness and affirmations. For any bowel problems, we can find a blockage in T12. When the colon is overactive, it can cause distress in that area. And when constipation happens, it means the colon is inactive. The colon is controlled by the autonomic nervous system, and Western medicine has modern equipment to test the intestines, but generally doctors know little about how the operation actually works and what triggers it. That is because no one has examined how the autonomic nerve and T12 are related to each other. So when T12 is blocked, it can cause us great stomach discomfort, and it can inhibit the flow of the Sacral Chakra and our ability to nourish ourselves. So by clearing the stagnant energy in each point and infusing it with life force energy, your body will have what it needs to correct and harmonize any dysfunction that has accumulated over the years. Life happens, whether we choose it or not, and it can have a great impact on how we live our lives or view our lives. We will identify areas where energy is stuck, inflamed, stagnant, and refusing to flow because of old beliefs, dependence, controlling experiences, shame and humiliations, fears, the stories we tell ourselves, the people in our lives, lifestyles, attitudes, and demands. We will focus on beliefs that your mind is ready to embrace or release, where it is ready for change, progress, and transformation. Embrace these thoughts. Feel them deep within your body, your mind, and your soul, and allow them to penetrate into your heart. Because you are absolutely worthy of every virtue. You are worthy of every life-giving belief. As you hear these statements and let them into your heart, they will transform you gently, profoundly, and bring greater and higher good in your life. So take a deep breath, and we will start. Place your hand on your chest just below your collarbone, right here, touching the two fear points with your thumb and index finger. The spots may be tender. Hold your hand there. You can massage the points if they are tender. You can also hold your hands in a prayer position at your heart space, and this is particularly effective if you're holding rare earth magnets with the south pole facing your right hand. Or you may use a piece of quartz crystal, jade, or selenite. Imagine looking into a mirror and looking into your eyes. Here we're going to start talking directly into your soul. So in this moment, speak this maxim to yourself with the care and compassion you would give to the most apprehensive of beings. So repeat after me. Take kindness and benevolence as basis. Take frankness and friendliness to heart. Speak with reason. Treat with courtesy. Act with emotion and accomplish results. Now we'll say this one more time. We will speak it into the T12 vertebrae in that general area increasing the life force with honest kindness and respect for the importance and place and function that it holds. So take kindness and benevolence as basis. Take frankness and friendliness to heart. Speak with reason, treat with courtesy, act with emotion, and accomplish results. We will breathe after each statement, consciously creating new pathways of response and allowing the energy to freely and lovingly flow. So carefully listen to each statement. Try to repeat after me in your mind, but I may go quickly, so just pay attention to the words that I'm saying. Take a deep breath. I give myself permission to bring up and address the unconscious beliefs that have kept me stuck in patterns of response that bring harm to myself and others. And breathe. I give myself permission to forgive the people and institutions that have influenced my beliefs when they have encouraged distorted ideas, even when they believed it was good. And breathe. I forgive those in my life experience so far who intentionally or unintentionally caused me harm because of their own broken and distorted interpretations of life. And breathe. I forgive myself for my incorrect interpretation of the love and care offered to me by those who truly wanted to show love. And breathe. I ask others to forgive me when I have hurt or caused harm because of my mistaken interpretation of reality. And breathe. I forgive myself for any resistance I have toward embracing all that is good, lovely, and precious. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that miraculous transformation, healing, change, and opportunities only happen after long, toiling effort, self-degradation, or that they don't happen for me. And breathe. I embrace all opportunities, gifts, and love that flow to me without hesitation or skepticism, but with thankfulness and gratitudes. And breathe. I give myself permission to surrender and allow for the highest and greatest good to come to me, transform me, and remake me. And breathe. I forgive myself for distorting my alignment with myself, with the great Creator, and with great nature, because I do not know my true self. And breathe. I give myself permission to accept my true self and clear the blockages that keep me distorted in my physical health, my emotional health, my social health, and my spiritual health. And breathe. I give myself permission to take responsibility for whatever comes into my presence with gratitude and calmness. And breathe. I forgive myself for knowingly or unknowingly creating the emotional and physical patterns that block my flow in connection to myself, heaven, earth, or humanity. And breathe. I give myself permission to grow and evolve by giving up the stories of the past so that the universe can write new ones. And breathe. I love and accept myself now as I begin to understand and accept the corrections to any false programming and beliefs that I may have received. And breathe. I love and accept myself as I align myself to think and feel in the way the universe thinks and feels, accepting the miracles that flow through me, around me, above me, and below me. And breathe. I love and accept that the universe is highly flexible, and I can be too. Because when I'm flexible, which is in harmony with the universe, I am open to the infinite possibilities, and then possibilities appear. And breathe. I forgive myself for disowning and rejecting my right to fully live. And breathe. I forgive myself for feeling insecure and afraid of real and honest love. Breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid to fully digest all that I take in. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing I don't deserve to nourish myself. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I cannot trust my feelings or myself. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I have to deny and reject my feelings in order to be loved. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that my body is a curse and should be hated. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing I am not allowed to celebrate my individuality. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I have to be perfect before I can feel peace within myself. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that my ideas have to be perfect before I can act on them and turn them into action. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I must hold on to old pains and traumas, hoping that someone will see them and come and rescue me. And breathe. I forgive myself for bottling up and preserving hate within me. And breathe. I forgive myself for not being open and truthful with myself or others. And breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid to let go of the past and claiming it as the present. And breathe. I forgive myself for blocking what I honestly want to say. And breathe. I forgive myself for being stingy and selfish with my life. And breathe. I forgive myself for holding on to dead and decaying beliefs and then trying to create something sweet and fresh with them. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that if I allow life to flow through me, I may lose something valuable forever. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that if I am in the flow of life, I will lose control and be helpless to do anything about it. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I would rather be in control and constipated in life than free-flowing and get hurt. And breathe. I forgive myself for not expressing my true and honest feelings and deflecting them. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I can run away and hide from that which I do not want to accept. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing I can never get what I most desire. And breathe. I forgive myself for being so afraid of what may happen in the future that I can't assimilate what is actually happening in my life right now. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I cannot be at peace until everything is in order the way I perceive it should be. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that the way I perceive things is the only and best way to have peace. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that if I don't have peace, it's because someone else did not meet my expectations. And breathe. I forgive myself for allowing my fears to seize up and overtake me. And breathe. I forgive myself for all the undigested ideas that I refuse to absorb and process, taking the good and releasing the unneeded for my growth and nourishment. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that it is better for me to stay in my comfort zone than it is to flow with the rhythms of life. And breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid to assimilate and absorb all the good and beautiful things around me. And breathe. I forgive myself for feeling victimized when the truth is my chronic bitterness and lack of love for myself and others is the real issue. And breathe. I give myself permission to call up and transform, transmute, release and remove all rejection of wisdom, insecurities, refusal to know or understand, indecision, fear of honesty, resentment and blame, misalignment with life, failure to embrace and absorb, and denial of my spiritual self for the highest and greatest good of myself and others. And breathe. I now give myself permission to unblock both sides of the Huatuojiaji points of T12, opening and activating the flow of Qi and information through T12, communicating freely with all parts of my body, mind, and spirit, raising the quality of my thoughts. Take a deep breath and release. I give myself permission to see the past, present, and future clearly and honestly. Breathe. I give myself permission to take responsibility for every aspect of creating the life that supports me and that I love. Breathe. I give myself permission to gain wisdom through joyfully accepting the experiences of life in all their diversity. Breathe. I give myself permission to release all that keeps me from seeing and hearing the truth. And breathe. Without disowning the right to live, feeling insecure and afraid to love, and the inability to digest life, I am free to align my life with my spiritual self and the energies of the universe. Breathe. When I'm aligned with truth and love, I am free to choose to circulate the joys of life. Breathe. I am free to willingly nourish myself. And breathe. I am free to trust my feelings and experience emotional balance. And breathe. I am free to be comfortable in my body and embrace and celebrate myself, feeling peace throughout. And breathe. I am free to allow creativity to freely flow. And breathe. I am free to let go of the past and not have it trigger me. And breathe. I am free to easily release that which I no longer need. And breathe. I am free to believe the past is over, and I am free to live a new, fresh, and vital life, participating in the flow of every moment. And breathe. I am free to call the shots in my life when it is appropriate, and when it is not, I let the rest take care of itself. And breathe. I am free to expand in every direction, affecting changes all around me and within me, to be courageous and at peace with life. And breathe. I am free to relax and let life flow through me with ease, easily assimilating and absorbing all that I need to release the past with joy. And breathe. I am free to create my own unique experiences. Breathe. I am free to love and approve of myself and others, and my experiences get better and better. And breathe. I am free to have the power, strength, and knowledge to handle everything in my life, perfectly aligned and supported in all things. Breathe. With the power of my divine consciousness, I now create connection and harmony with all things in myself and in my world in a way that inspires kindness, friendliness, honesty, and goodwill, flowing genuine love and sincere compassion to all that is in my range of influence, and freely offering connection from the brightest place of my heart. Now take a long, deep breath and release all that does not align with these truths. You are now creating new alignments, stronger and more powerful beliefs, letting go of the stories of the past and creating new supportive and harmonious ones to manifest the peace, happiness, and calm that is divinely gifted to you at all times. I leave this blessing with you. When the light around you lessens and your thoughts darken until your body feels fear turn cold as stone inside, when you find yourself bereft of any belief in yourself and all you unknowingly leaned on has fallen, when one voice commands your whole heart and it is raven dark, steady yourself and see that it is your own thinking that darkens your world. Search and you will find a diamond thought of light. Know that you're not alone and that this darkness has purpose. Gradually let it school your eyes to find the one gift your life requires, hidden within this night corner. Invoke the learning of every suffering you've suffered. Close your eyes. Gather all the kindling about your heart to create one spark. That is all you need to nourish the flame that will cleanse the dark of its weight of festered fear. A new confidence will come alive to urge you toward higher ground where your imagination will learn to engage difficulty at its most rewarding threshold. So smile and embrace the universe as you start making a positive difference in your world. Godspeed.